Welcome back to Enigma Chronicles, your go-to channel for fascinating facts and intriguing insights. In today's video, we're diving into the mesmerizing world of geography. Humans and our physical planet are endlessly captivating, and some of the facts we're about to share might just blow your socks off. Get ready for 40 completely random geography facts that are so ridiculous they almost don't seem true. Let's jump right in. There are many different aspects to geography, with the two main branches being human and physical. Human geography revolves more around human demographics, whereas physical is more about the forces of nature. Although being middle-aged is a rough term, let's say about half of your country's average life expectancy. This would mean that the Central African Republic, which has the lowest life expectancy in the world, would see their middle age at around 27 years. You might have heard this one in one of our recent videos. The Great Wall of China stretches for a longer distance than the distance from London to Auckland and then across to Sydney. 2. It is also over 3 times longer than the world's longest river, the Nile. If Siberia were to remove itself from Russia and become its own individual nation, it would become the world's largest country by land size. The Nordics, considered to be a very wealthy, highly developed region, have a total GDP less than half of California's. The average resident in Monaco is 37.7 years older than the average person from Niger, the world's youngest country by average age. Switzerland, a country of less than 9 million people, has an economy larger than that of Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Algeria combined, who together have a population of around 350 million. Wow! This point is an uninhabited island located over 1,000 kilometers away from the mainland. Jakarta, Indonesia is closer to Perth in Western Australia than to Sydney at 3,000 and 3,300 kilometers respectively. A straightforward but pretty nuts fact: 7.2 billion people live in the Northern Hemisphere. By city proper measurements, China is home to 15 of the 20 largest cities in the world by land area, with Chongqing being the largest at 82,400 square kilometers. It's worth noting, however, that China defines city boundaries differently from the rest of the world. Over 70% of Kuwait's entire population lives in just one city, its capital, Kuwait City. This is the highest in the world, excluding city-states. The lowest temperature ever recorded in the United States was 62 degrees Celsius, and the highest was 56.7 degrees Celsius. That's a 118 degrees Celsius difference. 13. Nauru, the world's smallest country, is only 6 times larger than Central Park in New York City. 14. Africa as an entire continent has a GDP lower than that of the UK, a country with less than 70 million people versus Africa's roughly 1.4 billion. The Amazon rainforest, located in Brazil, has a lot of trees, but Russia has more than double, with an estimated 302 billion compared to 642 billion respectively. Canada also has more trees than Brazil, around 16 billion more. At 1,864 people per square kilometer, Bahrain is the world's most densely populated country, excluding city-states and autonomous regions. If we include those, Macau of China becomes the most densely populated, with a ridiculous 2,800 people per square kilometer. Over a quarter of all humans on the planet right now are under the age of 15. That's around 2 billion people. Just 3% of the entire African population is over the age of 65, compared to 18% in Europe, the lowest and highest for any continent respectively. The greatest distance between any 2 points in the United States is a mind-blowing 9,400 kilometers from Kure Atoll, Hawaii to Log Point, Florida, as the crow flies. That's about the same distance from London to Bangkok. The distance between the lowest-lying capital city by sea level in the world and the highest is 3,668 meters. That is Baku, Azerbaijan, and La Paz, Bolivia, respectively. For reference, 3,668 meters is about 43% of the height of Mount Everest. Rome, Barcelona, and Istanbul are all roughly the same latitude as New York City. At 44.7 homicides per 100,000 people, Jamaica has the highest murder rate in the world. That was 1 through 23 murders in 2020 for a population of less than 3 million. More people live in Hong Kong at 7.6 million than in Western Australia and Mongolia combined, a region of around 4 million square kilometers. Greenland is home to the world's largest national park, spanning around 1 million square kilometers. If this region were a country, it would be the 30th largest in the world. 10. The largest French-speaking city in the world in terms of population is not in France or Canada, but in Central Africa. Kinshasa of the DR Congo is a megacity of around 17 million people. Luxembourg is filthy rich with an estimated GDP per capita of around 127,000 US dollars. For reference, the USA, the world's richest country by GDP, has a GDP per capita of around 75,000. On the other hand, Burundi ranks as the poorest country on Earth according to the World Bank, with a GDP per capita of just $293. That's 433 times poorer than the people of Luxembourg. Kiribati, located in the Central Pacific Ocean, is the only country on Earth located in all 4 hemispheres. There could be upwards of 2 million lakes in Canada, more than the rest of the world combined. Speaking of lakes, the world's largest lake is actually the Caspian Sea, which is technically a lake even though its name doesn't suggest so. The Caspian Sea spans 371,000 square kilometers, 4.5 times larger than the second largest lake, Lake Superior, which is found in Canada. The country with the most islands is not Indonesia or the Philippines, but Sweden, with over 221,000 islands. At just 2.1% of the adult population, Vietnam is the least obese country in the world. Nauru, on the other hand, is the world's most obese country, with a crazy 61% of the adult population. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the world's tallest building. Put 10 Burj Khalifas on top of each other and you have Mount Everest. This really puts into perspective how hard it is to climb the world's tallest mountain. The term pole of inaccessibility refers to a given point in a region that is the furthest away from the ocean. Asia's pole of inaccessibility is located in northwestern China near the Kazakhstan border. China and Russia both set the record for sharing the most land borders, including each other. China, however, just takes the win, as the total length of its land borders stretches around 2,000 kilometers more than Russia's. Excluding countries with no forest whatsoever, Oman is the world's least forested country, with just 0.01% of its land covered in forest. The distance between Asia's most western and eastern points is over 8,000 kilometers, from Cape Baba in Turkey to Big Diomede in very eastern Russia. Most of the world's highest-ranking countries for the Peace Index are some of the richest and most well-developed in the world. 3. Not so for the USA, which ranks as the 129th most peaceful country in the world. France's longest border is with Brazil, as French Guiana shares a 730-kilometer-long border with South America's largest country. For mainland France, it is with Spain at 623 kilometers. 5. If you were to equally distribute the entire estimated economy of Earth, that's 96 trillion US dollars between the entire human population of around 8 billion. Each person would be worth around 12,000 US dollars. 5. As Africa's current GDP per capita is around $2,000, this would instantly make the continent 6 times richer. So there you have it, 40 ridiculous geography facts that might just change the way you see the world. Did any of these catch you by surprise? Or perhaps you have some mind-blowing facts of your own? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more fascinating content from Enigma Chronicles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon in our next exciting video.